Alright, ready?
Yeah, I mean, I started recording everything.
I got the intro for us this time.
Oh, fuck! I got the intro for us. Oh, fuck!
Don't look at me! Don't look at me! Don't look at me!
Tape on the nose.
Don't look at me! Don't look at me!
I'm hideous!
Well, this thing has already gone to hell.
Doorell! Doorell, take it away. Oh, that was fantastic opening by Doorell. Alright.
Much like our last few videos, for those of you that have been watching, we've already jumped the shark and we were just going full ridiculous. So, welcome back to the round table. As normal, I'm
Sponsored
Alex.
by Yingling.
No, we're not!
Thank you. As normal,
Unofficially. I remember which we do that.
we have Andrew, we have Alex, and we have special guest Pat. And then we have our very, very special guest. I think he can speak for himself on who he is.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Wait. He's always a guest.
Yeah,
I'm the permanent special guest.
yeah.
Permanent special?
It's our running joke is that he's
Permanent
the
special guest.
special guest. Always special guest Patrick.
Not just a guest.
No,
You're
This is my home. I can't be a guest in my
no,
home.
you and I are the hosts
I am the owner.
of the house that we recorded.
Mustache. Where? What are we here for?
All right.
What are we doing?
So very appropriately, our guest today, as well as everything we have, is to our topic, which is crossovers in video games. And so,
So define the crossover for the viewers
so
in the context of this video.
Okay. So in context, what we've decided is our definition for a crossover is any time where the main characters of a game are shared between different media. So a good example is Kingdom Hearts, where we have Final Fantasy characters and we have Disney characters meeting together. Now, there are plenty of crossovers. Pretty much any fighting game has crossovers, but there is also this idea of cameo, where we have maybe one character.
You didn't fill up before we started talking?
You're good.
It's alright, we'll edit that out. It's fine.
Cameos are where we have like one or two characters that show up in a show that's not normal. And
What are you writing?
I don't want to even know what he wrote.
Let me see it. I don't trust you. It's going to say sponsored by something or other. What's it say?
I'm letting it go. It says official.
It's unofficial.
It didn't say sponsored, it just says official.
Unofficial.
Anyway, so a cameo is when a character appears in a media that they're not used to. Think games like Mortal Kombat, where the character is the DLC. Injustice 2, where they had the DLC fighters. We had Hellboy and the Ninja Turtles. Not part of the original game. Not part of that DC, because Hellboy is, Dark Horse Comics, I think?
Yeah.
So that kind of is what we're talking about with crossover versus cameo. So we're talking specifically about crossovers, but we can talk about cameos if they come up. So, take it away. Someone say something about crossovers.
So, I think first, we need to pay respects to like the first crossover that started it all in Double Dragon and Battletoads. And we need a remake of not only Battletoads and Double Dragon, but of the combined game together.
Well, if I do remember right, though, aren't getting some kind of like sequel or remake of Battletoads this year?
We're getting a remastered Battletoads, but it's just Battletoads.
Well, any game that came out as early as Battletoads did had the difficulty level of fucking Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Deserves a
very-
remaster.
Oh, God.
That was the first. My favorite, though, it's tough because I love Kingdom Hearts. But like Smash and Marvel vs. Capcom are so fun. But I gotta say, Kingdom Hearts is probably my favorite because it was probably like the first official one that I had, and it was just amazing seeing all of a sudden Final Fantasy characters interacting with Mickey and Goofy. So when it's done right, it's amazing.
So let's talk about that. So Kingdom Hearts is a single-player RPG, like hands down, feet in the mud. You're just diving into a game where you're playing it out. Whereas Marvel vs. Capcom and Smash is all about just fighting. There's not really a big story. There are some story modes, but
Loose story and stuff.
Yeah.
right. So I guess the question is, do these work? And which do they work as solely just a storyless mode of just let's beat the crap out of each other, or is there something to be said about the success of Kingdom Hearts with having a story mode?
There's something there's something that needs to be said about something like Kingdom Hearts that has a story, that can cross over characters, but make it make sense. But I think by and large, the crossover is, it's a fan service thing. People want to see two different franchises come together, they want to see their own characters do this or that. And pretty much because gamers are masochists, they want to fight their favorite characters with other favorite characters. So I think that's why Smash has been so successful, and the games like it. But the thing about crossovers is that it's very individual thing. You can't say like crossovers are good, crossovers are bad, because you can take one crossover and two people that have entirely different opinions on the game. Because some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it.
Sure.
Which I think is why it's hard to make a story out of a crossover and have it make sense and have people like it, which is why Kingdom Hearts is kind of singular in that respect.
Very true, because Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe put in the story, and I think that's like the beer.
I can't I can't do it.
Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe had their story mode, but it was tough for them because they had to describe why one Superman could be defeated by Sub-Zero and Scorpion and Liu Kang, and then they had to explain why like the fatalities were gone and all this other changes and how the universe was coming together. So like the story mode there didn't work out very well because you're taking two completely different franchises, two completely different like game styles, fighting styles, move sets, and combining them into one.
Your dog is snoring so hard behind me.
And it didn't work as well for them as it did Kingdom Hearts. But then you have like Marvel vs. Capcom, where like you said, their story mode's non-existent, but the game's still fantastic.
True. So as we're talking about it, I was thinking about, there was a game I was going to say is a crossover, but it's not. It's a cameo. Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. Very much could have been a crossover situation, only because it was Square at the time, or Square Enix, working to make a Final Fantasy-esque game in the Mario universe. Mm-hmm. And so it was Mario mixed with some Final Fantasy stuff. And so they had original characters called Mallow and Geno. Geno's a popular character still to this day. Mallow's like, fuck him. But those characters are both owned by Nintendo and not. So it's a weird gray area of who it is. Mm-hmm. But they do have a Final Fantasy character. They have a boss, a hidden boss in the game called Culex, which comes from a Final Fantasy game. Same power, same everything. They even had the music from the Final Fantasy game he's in play as his battle theme. So like it's not Mario. So at first I was like, yeah, that's a crossover, but it's not. It's a cameo. But there's something unique about them trying that, and it didn't quite work. So Nintendo tried it, and it didn't work in their direction, so they just went, never again. But
they just cross over their own universe.
Although, if we're talking about Nintendo crossing over, we do have Smash is such a unique thing because they do get third-party games. Like
Metal
Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Snake came in Brawl, and he's now back in Ultimate. Ultimate has now added Persona 5. He's going to be the first DLC character in February. The character's name is Joker, and that's from a completely different game series that was... There was a couple games on the Nintendo consoles, but it wasn't a Nintendo game. Mm-hmm. Completely new. Mega Man was Capcom, never owned by Nintendo till later. Same with Pac-Man being by Namco. Trying to think some other characters that I know have appeared in Smash now that were not Nintendo. Yep, Ryu and Ken.
Yeah.
Both are from.
That's the other one I was trying to think of.
Yeah, both of them are from Street Fighter and now in Smash. Bayonetta's been Nintendo, but on the adult end of Nintendo, which is weird to say. Not initially from Nintendo, but did come to Nintendo.
Right.
They still have that. So, Nintendo, I don't know if they realize that it doesn't work doing a story mode, but they do have this kind of... Smash Brothers has a story.
Yeah, it's loose, but it's there.
This new one, though, for Ultimate, I haven't played it yet. Mm-hmm. I've been holding off because it's one of those things that's going to take up my life for the next 48 hours, just playing it nonstop. So I'm not playing the story mode yet. But from what I've seen in the game, it's fantastic. Like, they've really worked up to where they're going. They do have some kind of logic, and yes, in the regular fighting mode, there's no way in hell that a Piranha Plant is going to beat the crap out of Ken from fucking Street Fighter.
I think we could drop Ken. Ken's a little bitch.
I just realized that Galactus is probably blocking me out.
Oh, I've known that. I'm okay with that.
You special guest. Come on,
Galactus.
I mean, we have more special guests on this show than anything else.
We got, what, 2, 4... however many there.
Just however many.
We got Mr. Can't say his name.
Doorell.
For legal purposes.
His name is Doorell.
Doorell. Doorell.
Crossbowman from Middle Earth.
Ow! Mother of God, that hurt.
Yeah, but think of how much crap out of your pores.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. So yeah, no, there's definitely something about crossovers that seem to work. But I guess we've been talking about it, and we did have a couple. We have a couple fans that have suggested questions and
Thank you
things
for
to talk
putting
about.
up with our idiotic shenanigans, by the way.
I mean, that's why they comments, because our shenanigans are fun. So from FeelZapper55 on Instagram asked us, what is the best crossover? Like, that's a question that we should ask. So, I know, it's very
Well, like
subjective.
I said, it's hard. It's very subjective because you can get one crossover and 2 people completely disagree on whether it's good or bad or what makes
Should
it
we
good or
change it
what
to, like,
makes
what's
bad.
your favorite?
Well, we'll start with what's our favorite, and then maybe we can come to an agreement on what one might be really good and could be considered the best.
The Marvel Ultimate Line.
No, only because they're all Marvel
Marvel.
characters.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, that means
It's a great game, but it's not really a crossover.
sorry, I'm taking your beer. I don't know. I know.
It's tough to pick just one because there are good ones. And then there's good crossover series that have bad games. Like the Alien vs. Predator series overall, the game series, is a lot of fun. But the latest entries that we got, one for the 360, that one wasn't that fun because the stories were all jacked up. But before that was just the point and click, which on a console is not exactly ideal.
Exciting.
But so, I mean, looking at it as a series, being able to play as a Predator and hunt the aliens and Marines is fun, and vice versa. Then you got series that just every game is good, like Smash, Marvel vs. Capcom. So I'm trying to look at it more as a favorite crossover series,
It's fair.
because it's hard to pick just one game.
Alright, I'm going to change that question then. What's the worst crossover?
Oh.
I'm sure we can come to an agreement on what's the worst one.
The worst crossover.
Before we suggest it, I would argue that Soul Calibur is a cameo, not a crossover.
That is very true.
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
I know. It's in that weird place because they
I can count it
market
if you want to throw it in there as your worst. I'll count it.
We'll throw that in, just because they market it
And
specifically.
again, best subjectively speaking, that's the worst because I don't like it the most.
All right.
But what I think the worst.
That's fair.
And then best for me, Smash. You can't beat Smash.
There's something great about being Jigglypuff and beating the shit out of Snake from Metal Gear Solid. You would never see that.
And I loved how
anywhere.
on the 3DS you made your own character. That you customized your build. It was freaking great.
They brought it back in Ultimate.
I don't have a Switch,
But I do.
and I can't justify buying one yet, especially because I got a PS4.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Side note, though, they did the Kingdom Hearts thing for PS4. I'm looking at it.
Which
They remastered it and put it all in
yeah,
one
all
collection.
3 of them. Yeah,
Thinking about
it's a pretty good one. If you haven't done it, it's good. All they did was they just took the ones they did for the PS3 and the first 2 and just upgraded it to 4. The other one's exclusive to 4.
That's what they did for the Nathan Drake collection and Last of Us. And pretty much just bought a PS4 to play old PS3 games.
Sony pretty much does that every time. We can talk about that.
Anyway,
All right.
dang.
So I'm still thinking here if you want to go. I'm weighing a few different options here.
Worst crossover. It's a really tough decision because my go-to would be Soul Calibur, but at the same time, I don't want to say that.
It has good aspects. It's just
It does.
there's other ones that are better.
Yeah, because a lot of the fighting games do have some cool things what they do with it.
Mm.
And I mean, part of the problem with Soul Calibur is theirs were just random. Like, it was like, hey, if you have a GameCube and you buy our game, here's Zelda.
Yeah,
Like, here's Link.
Zelda, yeah.
Oh, you have a PlayStation? Here's Spawn. Like, it seemed out of nowhere.
Here's Yoda.
Right, like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed...
It's out of nowhere.
Exactly. That's what kind of was my problem with it. It was
I thought
great
you-
being able to play as them,
But
but...
you would enjoy the chaos. The randomness.
Well, I mean, but isn't there also a level of chaos and randomness with any fighting game crossover? Like, where would you think that Injustice? Well, although Injustice kind of works, so I was gonna say
I forgot about it.
Injustice 2 having Hellboy and the Ninja Turtles. Neither of those are technically owned by DC, so why are they in there? But when I think about it, they're also heroes, so it does fit in. So, I can't say that one.
Yeah, hold on, I forgot about it.
It's a good game series.
It is. I
Right?
really like it. I just didn't think about it.
So I think I have mine. It's the Smash clone for PlayStation.
Oh,
All
Sony
Stars?
All-Stars.
Yeah. Great concept because of all the characters they had. Kratos, Sweet Tooth. The game itself was just...
Like Sweet Tooth from...
Yeah.
Sweet Tooth?
Yeah.
It sounds great in theory, right?
Yeah.
But it was
How
a
did it
Smash
turn out?
clone. The controls were a mismatch. The graphics and like physics, they just... If it wasn't compared to Smash, it would be a decent video game. But when you play Smash, and you know it's supposed to be Sony's Smash, it's terrible. Because of everything...
So you have to play it objectively.
Exactly. And you have to forget that Smash is a real game in order to enjoy it. Just because everything you can do in Smash and how perfect it is, Sony All Stars is like, oh, like is there? Like I was in love with the idea because I was like, ah, man, I can be Sweet Tooth, and I know Kratos was in it.
There's a lot of characters in that were all Sony. I'm trying to think of them. Oddly enough, Sword not one of
I never played it.
Some of the
I
Tekken
didn't even
characters
know
were in
it
it.
was a thing.
I remember
Nathan Drake was in
Yeah.
it,
the moment they
Oh,
announced it, I
I
was
love
like,
and-
it's
and-
Uncharted though, man. How could that not?
and Big Daddy was
Except
one of
for
the Big
maybe
Daddies was in it.
Uncharted.
Um,
That was generic.
it's the fact that it's not the characters. They have the characters for it. It's just the
They didn't have everything that Smash has.
yeah.
It was like Smash Light.
So don't pick it up to try it.
If you can get it for cheap, yeah.
If you can get it for cheap, and if you can do it objectively, you'll love it.
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't expect it to be great. Expect it to be subpar fighting game with characters you like.
It's like kind of like the Cartoon Network one that just recently came out.
Oh yes, yeah, yes. That's a perfect example that we completely forgot about. All the Nicktoons Smash, the Cartoon Network Smash, all of these games are just banking off of what Nintendo did first.
But what I'm saying is that it's all fan service.
It's true.
And nowadays, where nostalgia is such a high selling point, of course you're going to release stuff like that.
They just it's an older. It's only a couple years old. The Toy Soldier game, where you could be the
yes.
action figures,
Yes.
He-Man, G.I. Joe, stuff like that. I haven't played it, but same thing. Here's a game where you can be He-Man versus Cobra. Sounds fantastic, is it? I don't know. I haven't played it, but it sounds
I
amazing.
think it's a mixed review kind of thing.
Probably like the
It's-
objective thing. You got to play
You
it.
gotta play it. You just gotta be like, hey, I'm playing as my favorite such and such, and that has to make you happy.
You got to go and just have fun.
Who wants to do that? Who plays video games for fun anymore?
Yeah, I don't know who does that.
Yeah. All right. So Sony All Stars definitely not first.
I can actually agree to that one. Yeah.
All right, so are we in? Without even saying who, like, what y'all favorite is? Seems like we all like Smash pretty goddamn. well.
Yeah. It's something about the way that it works.
They were able to take the individual characters, capture all of their characteristics and their movesets, everything perfectly, without changing the gameplay.
The powers matched up even if they weren't in the canon games.
Exactly. Like
It
Snake,
felt natural.
all of his specials and power-ups are perfect for him,
All weapons.
and they work perfect within the Smash game. It's not like, oh, this is broken. Oh, this doesn't work. This feels off. This feels cluttered.
Which since Nintendo now has the online capabilities, pretty much any character that's unbalanced, they fix with a patch. So my wonderful example of that is Meta Knight for Brawl, when they first released, Meta Knight is essentially one hit KO everything. With like 2 moves. It was completely broken. But then as from Smash 4 on, they fixed that. So now Meta Knight is good. He's still a good fighter, but now all characters are balanced very well. I mean, a lot of people play as Kirby, even though Kirby's one of the easiest characters to play as. I play as Kirby, he's my main.
Because you can adopt any move as long as you swallow them.
I won't say it's my favorite yet, but one series that I like the direction they're going is the Tekken series. They did Pokken, they did Tekken and Street Fighter. In Tekken 7, they just announced that Negan is now a playable character from The Walking Dead. So, I don't...
Yeah.
I love the Tekken series. I don't want to claim it like the best crossover, but I like the direction that they're going.
It's going that way.
Yeah. They're keeping their original Tekken quality, but they're doing that move towards... So you're right. When you brought up Pokken, that's a really good example. Like, that was Tekken saying, you know what? Instead of doing a crossover, we're going to do it just that one universe. They just did all Pokemon, all fighting. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
So that would be like what you were saying earlier is a good example of a crossover series because each game is a different crossover per se.
And one thing I found out doing research for this episode, Tekken and Street Fighter, they have a deal. I think the first was Street Fighter X Tekken, or the other way around. But they're doing a second game that's the opposite title. And the name that's first, that company's the one that produced that game.
Oh, that's cool.
So like Street Fighter X Tekken is going to be in Street Fighter style. Tekken X Street Fighter.
Tekken style.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Which I'd have to play both to see how it works. But I think it's pretty cool that that's the deal they struck.
Fair enough. All right. So I kind of want to talk about a couple of the other questions that it feels appropriate to ask. So, what works better in crossovers? Movies or games?
I think my first instinct is to say video games because there's been more quality video game crossovers than movies.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Alien
They're all good.
Predator. It was poorly executed.
Yeah.
It could have been so much better.
It could have.
Had everything there, and they jacked it up somehow. So I don't know if it's games are allowed a little more leeway than Hollywood studios give to their big budget movies, or what happens. But I just feel like when I play a crossover game or a game that has cameos in it, it always turns out better than the majority of crossover movies.
I agree with you. I think that with games you have a greater suspension of disbelief.
That's true.
You go into it expecting a more grandiose spectacle, by and large, not all the time. But with movies, again, by and large, are more grounded in reality, real physics, real this and that. So when you have it never happened. I paid to watch it happen. If you had John McClane walk into the Lethal Weapon franchise, you're like, what? But when you have, Zelda walking to Mario, whatever. When you have Freddy walking to Jason, you're like, oh, it's a horror movie. My suspension of disbelief is gone already, ain't it?
Yeah.
So maybe it's.
I think you're right.
It depends.
The world that they're in, because even looking at I use Resident Evil as an example. In Resident Evil 5. And Wesker's like a super villain with superpowers and everything. And then in the movies, and everyone was okay with that. They're like, oh, that's pretty cool. All of a sudden you get to the movies, you give Alice superpowers, and everyone's like, this is bullshit. So
haters on the movie.
So I think
hate Mila Jovovich?
I think it's when you're playing a video game, your expectations are different because you're going into a video game world. Whereas you go into a movie, you're just that's bullshit.
It's hard to compare because they're completely different media, they're different atmospheres.
You go into it different.
Yeah.
I would argue there's only one really good, successful movie crossover. And it borderlines the cameo, but it's definitely
I know what you're
crossover. What?
Super Mario Brothers.
No. Oh, God, no. No, not that movie. God, no. No. What I was going to say is...
Dennis Hopper about it.
No. Cabin in the Woods. They literally make a reference to just about every horror movie.
Yeah,
before it
they
came
reference
out.
Left 4 Dead in that.
They reference Left 4 Dead. They reference Hellraiser. They reference all the Snake movies.
That's a crossover movie, man.
It's a weird one because it's for legal purposes. It's a cameo, but it's a crossover movie.
Yeah.
It literally crosses over every horror movie ever made.
Yeah.
It's that weird one that doesn't fit. Which I would argue, that's the only very successful crossover film. Everything else...
It would have been even better if Left 4 Dead would have went with their cabin in the woods level.
Yeah. It was just unfortunate that the company that was making the movie had such financial issues that they were able to pull out.
Everyone's like, this can't be... How would this be good? No one wants to watch this.
Yeah, and then Chris Hemsworth got famous and like, oh, we can make a movie.
93%
All of a sudden he has 86,000 movies coming out.
Pretty much.
Hey, we filmed Red Dawn with him.
He's a wonderful man to look at.
Yes.
Gay or straight.
I mean, honestly, if you upload the first image, like before the video, if you upload an image of a shirt with Chris Hemsworth, we're at least getting 100 views.
That is fair.
Do it.
Got it.
Find a shirtless video from me, slow mullet, guaranteed, 150.
Before we dive into that issue, so is it a full crossover or a cameo better in video games?
I think it depends on the game itself. Because Kingdom Hearts, full crossover, works. Mortal Kombat, Injustice, just having them as DLC cameos type, it works for that. But in the Mortal Kombat universe, if you're going to give me a story mode, and all of a sudden Leatherface is popping up in it, I'm going to be a little pissed off. Exactly. Like, whoa. When did Leatherface join the Earthrealm forces here?
Although we did see in that story mode when we were playing Mortal Kombat, that the Jason one at least was, oh, he went to Hell, and the ruler of Hell was, Liu Kang?
Yeah.
Which was weird and felt out of nowhere, but
Often.
at least they connected it to make it kind of work. And I was like, okay, yeah, Jason goes to Hell naturally in the series, so that makes sense. He went to Hell, met Mortal Kombat, and yeah. So that one I was okay with. But yeah, a lot of them are like extending beyond reach. And like, yeah, we're gonna do that.
I think overall, though, I like full crossovers better. The Smashes, Marvel vs. Capcom, the Alien vs. Predator series. I think overall I'm a crossover guy. But it is tough.
I appreciate cameos and movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But in a video game, I definitely.
The end of Tropic Thunder, where all the stars were pissed off because they didn't win the Oscar.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But anyway, cameos are easier to do.
Oh.
By a lot. Convincingly do. Like, we said, like, Leatherface showing up out of nowhere. You get pissed off. But they're easier to convincingly put in something. But crossovers, I agree, I'm a crossover. I would rather crossover. To see them fully interact in a cohesive story that actually makes sense and it's good, hopefully, is better than just seeing your character for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
A cameo is akin to an Easter egg for a level of enjoyment. You're like, oh, that's kind of cool, yeah. But Smash didn't make it this far on cameos.
Right.
Yeah.
They're throwing in Snake to get the Snake fans to buy the game, and then they fall in love with it, and they're going to keep buying the games.
Yeah.
So, just to give credit where credit's due to our Instagram followers, so 80 Tribal Child suggested a couple really good crossover games.
Awesome name.
I know, right? So 80 Tribal Child mentioned as some really good crossover games. X-Men vs. Street Fighter, I forgot that existed.
That was the first for Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yep.
Basically.
Then they did Marvel vs. Capcom. Great game, we talked about that. And Smash, we talked about one of the best examples of that. And then one that I forgot even existed, King of Fighters.
Old one.
It's going old school.
For any of you out there hearing me say I never heard of this, never saw that, I'm very picky. I'm still a gamer. I'm just very picky.
You know?
They're the nerds. I'm just here.
But we're all nerds.
We're all nerds. You're
Yeah.
the bigger
Just
nerds.
different levels. Yeah, no, that's right. But yeah, thank you, 80 Tribal Child, for giving us some suggestions on Instagram of what good games are. You're right. All these kind of crossover games are a lot of fun. I'm guessing Andrew's looking up some King of Fighters stuff.
That's what I was doing, because I was like, I can't remember the full
I don't
roster.
know, it's been so long, I don't remember it.
But one thing I noticed there from all of his lists is they're all fighting games. So do crossovers work better in fighting games?
Well, that's what I was trying to say with Smash, is that Smash got so successful, and since there isn't really a story, you can just throw them in there with zero disbelief about why these characters are together, and it works, which is why, like what we talked about, Kingdom Hearts being so successful, so unique, is because there's a story, and a good story, and it makes sense, and it's a crossover.
Yeah, it does something unique.
That's why the fighting games are like
They're
an
perfect.
entry-level crossover.
That's fair. Yeah, we definitely. I think we've agreed on that. Is that the fighting games when they do crossovers, it's always good, depending on if they're trying
if
to
you
copy
can-
Smash or they're trying to do their own thing.
If you can separate,
Ignoring that, but no. So obviously, yeah, fighting games are really good for these cameo crossover
Yeah.
stuff. But it's few and far between that we get a successful one that's not a fighting game. CD Kingdom Hearts. That's
I can't even really think of another
not-
non-fighting game besides Kingdom Hearts.
I've been trying to this entire time. I
Me
can't think
too.
of one that's like really solid and really good. If any of you can think of one, please comment on the video and let us know what ones we forgot. If you're watching it, you don't want to comment on YouTube, go to our Instagram channel or Instagram page, or do we have Twitter yet or no? Or
No, not Twitter yet.
no Twitter yet. We're working on a Tumblr. We're working on Reddit. So just email us too. Just let us know what you think. If you don't want to comment, be private. That's fine. We have a friend that does that. But yeah, so that pretty much covers what I wanted to talk about with the crossovers. Any final thoughts on crossovers and games?
Keep them rolling. Like I said, Tekken's building up a solid base of crossover games. So I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. But I think what makes a crossover successful is having it your own way. Like Smash, perfect. Tekken, perfect. If you did either one in the other one's style, it would be god-awful.
yeah.
So I think like the key for crossovers is just whoever's making them, whatever the main game is, stays in their style, stays in their lane. Because Tekken and Street Fighter, they're more serious fighters. Smash, anyone can pick up, and you're good to go.
So you have to figure out the formula and stick to it.
Exactly.
I think I would like to see more story-driven crossovers.
Done well.
'Cause while I haven't played Kingdom Hearts, I've watched you play a lot of Kingdom Hearts. And it's really good. It's a really nice game. Really straightforward story, as we covered in the single-player video roundtable. I'm a story guy. That's what I want. That's what I like. That's what brings me back. So I would like to see more crossover story-driven.
I'm surprised Square doesn't have more crossovers. Because the Final Fantasy universe is so huge now.
They can easily throw it in anywhere,
Yeah.
and it works.
Final Fantasy 20. Get on it.
Final Fantasy 20 across the multiverse. You're gonna have some Final Fantasy character meeting up with Master Chief from Halo and fucking Mario from Super Mario and who's a good Sony representative?
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, right there. All four of them as a team. Final Fantasy characters and all these three random characters all in one.
I would empty my bank account to see Cloud and Master Chief taking on the company together. I would just...
Cloud and Master Chief taking on the Reapers.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
God.
gotta be a true crossover.
Oh god.
I would draw...
And then Bender shows up out of nowhere.
In the background just shrieking and
Screaming up to
smoking.
the Reapers, "Bite my shiny metal ass!"
I'm gonna make my own crossover.
With blackjack and hookers.
You know what? Screw the crossover and the blackjack.
That's good. Alright, well, as we're devolving, it sounds about right. So it looks like we're at the end of our video.
Oh, hold on. So I did notice that Bad Kitty 239
That's a better name than the tribal child.
was commenting on one of our videos. And I happened to look that you had a lot of Smash videos yourself. So in the spirit of crossover, I'm laying down a challenge.
Oh no.
My boy here, the best Smash player in Erie County, number 15 in the country,
That's not true.
challenges you to a smash off.
Number 15 in the world.
That's
Yeah,
not true either.
just comment or message with your tag, and he will take you on. We will film it, and he will kick your ass.
Right.
15
And you know what?
in the world.
He doesn't even need to say a word. We're speaking for him.
Yep.
Challenge already accepted.
Suck it. End it there. Mic drop.
Well, we haven't finished yet. We still have to decide what we're going to talk about next time.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'll say. I mean, to be honest, we're at least this is the last roundtable of 2018. So what are we going to talk about in 2019? It'll be in March because it's every 3 months.
Yeah.
How about franchise fatigue?
Ooh.
Since everything, like Halo's coming out with 6, Gears coming out with 5.
It's not going to be called 6, though. It's going to be
Red-
just putting it out there. Franchise fatigue.
Resident Evil's got like
Resident
20
Evil
games.
7 plus all the spin-off ones. How many games is Tomb Raider on? They just came out with Shadow.
Tomb Raider reboots in every 2 games.
Pretty much.
Every 3 games. This is a 3-gamer.
new one. Mario's on the 82.
Yeah, we Pokemon's in going into Generation 8.
Once the series makes money on the 3rd game, they just kind of keep it rolling
Like horror movies.
forever.
So that's an idea. Maybe not. That might not be what it is. That's just my suggestion.
That's a good idea.
I like that series fatigue.
Yeah. I like series fatigue. The other one I was thinking, with them growing in popularity every day, because it seems like more and more, mobile games.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's a game gripe right there.
Everything has a mobile
game
game.
gripe?
Game gripe.
We might run into some issues because the channel I watch, Iraq Veteran 8888, does gun gripes. So it
It's
might.
game gripe. It's not. It's unique enough.
Yeah.
It's like.
It's a backdoor shout out, by the way.
It's close enough also to the game grumps that it's really popular. It might be fine. We'll fine.
It might.
Game gripe is fine.
We got tons of copyright infringement right here, anyways.
We'll just tag it as everything that's being copyright infringed. Just go for it.
So that could be a serious game.
Are us
But-
just complaining about shit?
Yeah,
Game
because
gripe.
I got a
We
lot to
complain
complain about
bad
mobile
kitty
games.
Not accepting our challenge yet.
Yeah, it's been like 90 seconds.
We
now.
haven't even uploaded a video yet.
This isn't live. The hell, dude.
Alright, next time, who knows what we're going to talk about? Probably game griping.
Game gripes or series fatigue could be a game gripe. That could be 2 videos. MMO or not MMOs, mobile games and
And then
series
there's a
fatigue
whole
could
other
be
series.
2 different videos.
Yeah, alright. Well, we got some ideas, and if you guys watch this and have an idea, please let us know. Sounds good to me. And just going to keep mic dropping. So, yeah, I think we're done.
Leave out.
Yo.
Fuck you, bad kitty. Coming for you.
He's the 15th best player in the country.
No, the world.
I just want to point out.
Number 1 in Erie County.
Not at all. Not at all.